You'll never fix your pain and stiffness until you understand this one thing. You've stretched, you've lifted, you've poked around at things. You've even tried the physical therapist down the street. But for some reason, you're still stiff, you're still sore, and you're still stuck. Literally and figuratively. You sit for too long and your hips ache. You bend over to pick up something and you feel like your back might give out. Or maybe you're someone who used to train periodically and you just got tight over time. Or maybe you never really moved much to begin with and now your body feels like it's fighting against you. Either way, it's not your fault. There's a reason you still feel locked up and why nobody's explained it to you clearly. Hint, they didn't know either. So today I'm going to break down what's actually going on under the hood, why stretching doesn't fix it, why lifting might make it worse. If you want to be able to get up off the floor without using your hands or bend over to tie your shoes without feeling like something's about to snap, let's learn how to finally rebuild the one system that nobody talks about, but everybody feels it when it stops working. But first we have to talk about what this actually feels like. Not the diagnosis, not the data, the daily life that you're stuck living inside of. At some point or another, it's almost like you wake up one day and you realize that something's changed. You're not sure what happened. You're not the person that you used to be anymore. Not necessarily because of how you look, but because of how you move, or more like how you don't move. You might be the guy who used to hit the gym every morning, or even the regular pickup game after work. Or you could be the guy who never really learned how to move in the first place. The man who worked long hours, sat too much, never really stretched, and now you feel like your body is turning to stone. It all starts with stiffness in the morning, and then you're groaning when you get out of your car or out of your recliner. Eventually, your back locks up when you sneeze or if you turn too fast. Everything just feels heavy. And I don't mean in terms of weight. It could be that too, but it's really more how your joints feel heavy. You feel sluggish in your spine, disconnected from your body. You don't even play with your kids or even your grandkids like you want to. Walking long distances is out of the question. Forget going for a jog around the neighborhood. You do whatever you can to avoid bending, reaching, or even sitting or lying down on the floors because you don't know if you're going to be able to get back up. What's worse is that you start to believe that it's just aging. You start to accept pain as a cost of being alive after 40. But pain isn't the problem. The real issue is what pain is doing to who you are and what it's doing to your identity. There's a hidden and silent shame that settles in with the stiffness. It doesn't matter. You could have a six-pack and still feel like your body's falling apart. Or you could have a dad bod and feel like you're breaking apart. Either way, your stiffness is an invisible problem. Nobody notices it except for you. They see the results of the problem, but not the problem itself. And it can lead to some embarrassing situations. It's not the kind of thing you post about on Instagram. You're not telling your friends, hey, tying my shoes makes me sweat, or I tweak my back every time I roll over in bed, or I almost toppled over trying to get off the floor yesterday, woo! No, it's moments like these that chip away your confidence. They make you feel older than you are, or at least blame it on your age because you don't know what else to blame it on. Things like this, they make you second guess yourself every time you do something that everyone should be able to do effortlessly. You stop doing the things that you used to do without thinking. You stop playing around or roughhousing with your kids. You stop picking up anything that looks remotely heavy. You stop being spontaneous because you have no idea what that could lead to. And so you start to move in tight, rigid, narrow patterns. You start to move without any real fluid motion. And what this kind of stiffness steals is your freedom and your dignity along with it. You start to feel like a burden. You have to move slower, take up less space, ask for help to do something that used to be effortless. And no one talks about how dehumanizing that can feel, especially for a guy who used to be fully capable of pretty much anything. But the cold, hard truth of the matter is that you most likely chose this path without ever realizing it. Because if you're anything like me and most men nowadays, we're chasing the wrong idea of what being fit even means. I mean, I don't know about you, but I grew up thinking that being fit meant being jacked. I was a kid growing up when Arnold was Conan, Commando, Terminator, Predator. I watched what we called back in the day the WWF. It was the definition of the modern day warrior. Guys with big pecs, broad shoulders, massive arms, stuff that the girls like, or at least we thought they did. So a lot of guys, my generation, chased the bigness. But what they didn't know is that you can be muscular and fragile. You can be muscular and weak. You can lift heavy and still move like a busted robot. And even if you never went to the gym or you never worked out, the problem isn't any different. You just skipped the injury phase and went straight to chronic tightness and weakness. You see, the traditional fitness paradigm, especially for men, is an obsession with being rigid. Keep a neutral spine, brace your core, squeeze the glutes. There's no focus on rotation, just stiffness and rigidity. That kind of training, it builds strength, but it also teaches your body to move like a stack of plywood. Over time, whether you are active or inactive or overtrained, the result is the same. Loss of control, loss of access, loss of fluid, natural movement. You start mistaking stiffness for strength. And when that stiffness leads to pain, you think the answer is more of the same. But strength doesn't matter if you can't bounce back, if you can't bend, if you can't absorb shock or twist. Who cares how strong you are and how much you can lift if you can only move in a single direction? So the real question becomes, what exactly is human movement supposed to feel like? And why can't you get it back with stretching? Why can't you get it back with strength training alone? Let's go deeper. The trap that most guys fall into once the pain shows up. They stretch, they rest, they grab a foam roller and get on the floor. Maybe they try some yoga or a few physical therapy sessions. Maybe they're told, just strengthen your core or try walking more. And for a while, it kind of helps until it doesn't. What's really happening is that you're focusing on where the pain shows up instead of focusing on the source of the pain. You keep doing it because it feels good. Of course it feels good. But it only feels good in the moment and it doesn't work for long term. Stretching a system that's glued together on the inside won't create lasting change. You can't force flexibility into tissues that are dried out and dehydrated, full of adhesions. It's basically dried up glue. And if you're only training muscles in isolation or you're only doing corrective exercises without restoring full body coordination, you're missing the entire point. So why does stiffness always come back? Why does the pain just move to a different spot? Why do you feel better during the stretch, but you wake up the next morning feeling tighter and sore? You want to fix what you think is broken, but it's probably not even broken. It's just confused. It's working without any clear signaling, without any hydration, without any integration. And everything you do, all your fixes are just treating symptoms while the real issue goes unnoticed beneath the surface. So stop stretching tighter muscles or activating weaker ones, hoping that they'll catch up. What you got to do is restore the entire system that coordinates and mobilizes your entire body as a single and complete unit. And that system, it's not your muscles, it's not your joints, hell, it's not even your mindset. It's something far more fundamental, something that every joint in your body is connected to and connects every joint in your body as a single network. And it's the one that pretty much nobody trains. It's time to talk about your fascia. Fascia is the web-like connective tissue that wraps around every muscle, every organ, every joint, and every nerve in your entire body. One continuous sheath of tension and support. It's the webbing that holds everything together. It's the wiring and the shock absorber of your entire system all in one. You've probably heard of it, fascial release. Many people have. They think it's the plastic wrap that holds your muscles together, but it goes much deeper and much wider than that. Fascia doesn't just hold your body together. It communicates, it stores energy, it adapts to movement and the lack of it. It learns your individual movement patterns and reinforces those movement patterns with every movement you make. When you stop moving well, or if you train in limited, repetitive ways, your fascia dries out and hardens up. It sticks, it thickens, it calcifies. And that's when you start feeling stiff, even if your muscles are strong. Now, combine that with a spine that's been trained to stay neutral all day long, braced, compressed, and locked. And you've completely shut down your body's natural movement engine. Your spine isn't supposed to be frozen. It's supposed to rotate, side bend, coil, extend, flex, and flow. The spinal integrity. And when it's off, everything else downstream suffers. Your gait becomes awkward, your hips, they lose range, your breathing gets shallow, your knees and your lower back take the hit. And what really sucks is that you don't even realize you've lost it until you feel what it's like to get it back. So how do you get it back? How do you rehydrate the fascia, rewire the movement, and reactivate spinal integrity? You need a new framework. To rebuild the body from the inside out, we have to move past the old model of just train the muscle. Instead, we have to train the entire system, the fascia, the breath, the rotation, the rebound, the coordination. That means unlocking your spinal integrity and having the ability to move the spine in every direction. It means loading the tissues dynamically, not just compressively. And for some of you, this will feel radically different from anything you've ever done before. For others, it'll feel like something you should have learned 20 years ago. But here's the beauty. Fascia responds. It's live and it can be rewired. And it literally starts changing in days, not decades. You'll notice it when tying your shoes doesn't feel like an effort, when it doesn't require a brace, when getting off the ground happens without thinking about it, when your body starts bouncing back instead of tightening down. To fix what's going wrong in your body, you don't need more reps, you need better feedback, and actually hear and listen to the feedback. It's not feedback that you'll get from me or anyone else, but feedback that you get from your own body. So let me show you how to do this. Try these 3 simple moves right now and pay attention to what your body tells you. Number 1 is the standing twist test. Stand up tall, rotate your body from side to side. Notice, does your spine twist evenly both directions? Does it go the same distance? Do your hips move equally? Or is one locked up tighter than the other? Or are they both locked? Do they both move freely? Not after 1 or 2 reps when you loosen them up, but immediately, the first time you twist to each side. If it feels stuck, it's not a muscle problem, it's your fascia not doing its job and you lack spinal integration. 2, the toe touch test. Can you reach your toes? Can you even hinge your hips? Can you hinge back by sitting back slightly, or do you need to drastically bend your knees or round your back? A little light bend is okay if you can keep your back flat, but otherwise your posterior chain is stuck somewhere. If you feel tension in your lower back or behind your knees before even getting close, it's not tight hamstrings, it's fascial restriction. Number 3 is a spinal wave. Can you articulate one vertebrae at a time, forward and back? Or does your spine move like one stiff piece? This tells you how much segmental control you've lost. Now, these tests aren't tricks, they're mirrors. They're signals and indicators of fascial health. And if those movements feel awkward, uneven, or stuck, you got to start retraining it. There's much more to fascia than what can be fixed in a 3-minute routine, and it's not just your back, it's not just your spine, but that's a good place to start. And here's a simple 3-minute reset to begin restoring your fascia and reactivating spinal integrity. So try this with me now. You'll feel the difference immediately. Step 1, a diaphragmatic breath into rotation. You want to sit or stand, inhale through your nose, and expand your ribs and your belly. Exhale slowly through your mouth while rotating your spine to one side as far as you can comfortably go. Stay there and inhale through your nose, and then slowly exhale through your mouth while deepening that rotation. Repeat that on the other side. Do up to 3 to 5 breath-driven rotations on each side. This is going to rehydrate your fascia. It's going to reset your breath to spine connection. Number 2 is cross arm swinging. Swing your arms gently across your body, letting your hips rotate. Each time you swing, tap the opposite shoulder or rib with your hands. Let your spine coil and uncoil. This is going to restore your natural contralateral gait mechanics. Number 3, stand close to a wall, reach one hand up, and spiral your rib cage towards that arm. Let your pelvis follow. Alternate sides with a slow wave throughout your spine. This is going to unlock your spine-pelvis coordination. After just 3 minutes, you're going to feel more rotation, a sense of looseness in the spine, and more spinal integration, maybe even a little extra energy flowing through the areas that were locked up. You'll get better posture without trying. If 3 minutes made you feel more alive in your body, imagine what would happen if you did this every day. It doesn't take much to start correcting it once you feel it. And if you want kind of a full body reset, just bounce, loosen up, get into it, learn to feel it. You can't heal what you can't feel. So now do you think stiffness is a symptom of aging? Or do you see it as just a sign of undertraining the system that most people are not even aware of? You were told that lifting more would make you strong and that stretching makes you flexible. And yeah, they do. But it doesn't matter if the fascia isn't getting the support it needs to do its job. None of it matters if training for strength costs you your freedom of motion. So hopefully you just got a peek through a new lens and a new way to finally see what might be holding you back. This is your turning point. You just need to focus on the core of the system and give it the right inputs. Hit subscribe if you were able to gain a new perspective and connect some dots today.